Morning all. Where am I now? I'm in Horsforth. I did an 8:10 test this morning. I bought one of my pupils, one of my manual guys. Just come back from his test, somewhere over there. He's the last one. Really nervous. Not sure how it went, but he's come back, and he's a manual, so it was entertaining teaching him. It was at, I had him at test standard pre-COVID, and then we've had a couple of issues in between then, obviously restarting lessons. Then I've had people trying to bribe me to take his test lot. I told him about it. I'm very honest with my pupils. Don't work like that with me. All I'm interested in is my coffee. So I'm hoping he's passed. If he hasn't, my man's not getting a test for a couple of months. In the meantime, I'm setting off for some sun, hopefully, if Boris Johnson allows. So I'm going to see what's happened, see if he's passed, and I'll keep you guys updated. Well, hello there. Anyway, so this is the second part of the video. The first one, I better take my glass off, you can actually see me. The first one was obviously when my pupil parked outside the test centre, me hoping to God that he's passed his driving test. There were two reasons for that. The first reason is Ayub got into an argument, as he does, outside the test centre, as he does, with an instructor, as he does, regarding roundabouts, as he does. And the second one was I wasn't prepared to let this lad down. It's as simple as that. I just wasn't. I explained to my pupil the reason why. He knows why and I know why. Once you guys get to know me, you'll know why as well. I just wasn't prepared to have it. So we come to a test centre. I was very confident that he would pass his driving test. For the last couple of lessons, I've been saying the same to him anyway. That he would pass, all being well, if he did what his instructor told him to do. That's arguable. Do as I say, not as I do. But anyway, he went for his driving test. The route was one of the routes that I kind of went over with him, but it was backwards. But you know, the most important thing is he's passed his driving test. It's worked, and forget his driving test. The best thing about a driving test is this. This is the best thing on earth. So I'm gonna let Patrick speak now. Yes, I actually let people speak in my car, despite what some people say. So I'm gonna let Patrick speak, and I might kind of interject every so often, just to kind of steer the conversation to where I want it to go. The most important thing is it's his first attempt. He's passed his driving test. He was ready before COVID. I've got to make that clear. So we've had lessons after start up, and then he's kind of had lessons whenever I could. He passed in a manual car in my little Fiesta, and I'm going to now let Patrick talk for a little while. Hopefully it'll go in the right direction. If not, I'll get involved. Okay. So this is Patrick.
So learning to drive, it were hard. It were really hard work, to be honest.
Okay, well, was it hard with me, or was it hard generally?
Just generally hard to learn to drive. I struggled. But then I feel like I wouldn't go with anyone else. I've only had one driver instructor in the past, and that was when I was 17, 18, and it was awful, to be honest. And it was completely, from what I can remember, it was completely different to what I've been with Ayub. And I just wouldn't, to be honest, I wouldn't really change anything. The only thing, we've had disagreements, and I've got really frustrated. And at the time, you just think, I just want to pass my test. I just want to, you look at the quality of drivers on the road sometimes, and you think if they can get away with that, and you start to feel a bit, complacent in that way. But it's just not worth that. And I think if I look back, I'd thank Ayub just for pushing me and not being hard, me being hard work and putting up with.
I wouldn't say hard work. You weren't hard, and you certainly. I encourage disagreements. Look, if we don't disagree, we can't agree. I need to understand why you're disagreeing, and we've had many no, I wouldn't say fallouts, I'd say constructive chats. But you see, if we don't work out our faults, we can't find a solution.
Yeah.
And it's not the fact that you're doing something wrong, it's the fact that you don't understand what you're doing wrong. Once you understand what you're doing wrong, it all works. And I think in terms of how we got on, I think we did well. I think, we had lots of disagreements. Now, the disagreements were mainly on other driver behaviour. Unfortunately, or rather fortunately, I couldn't take him to Bradford, but I'd show him how people drive, how we roll in that city. But because I've seen, or I was brought up there, because we've seen some really dark driving, we got to understand why driving takes place and what actually caused it. And sometimes it's not what they're doing, it's what caused it. And once you understand what causes it, then you're there. It's your stage 5 of learning. You'll understand it perfectly. So I think Patrick did well. We had a lesson yesterday, and I told him, you would pass your driving. I'm holding a coffee with a mask over my face, and I'm trying to drink it. I'm going to look like an idiot in a second. But anyway, so I think he did really well. I think if I could have done anything different, perhaps it could be, I don't know actually. Is there anything I could have done different, Patrick, to get there faster, to get there quicker? Is there anything that I could have helped you with?
No, not that I can think of. No,
okay,
no.
Did I, towards sort of like when we got the test, when we were closer to our driving test, did I ask you to have your own plan of what you want to do in the lessons and kind of scale how you're going to learn? So for example, I said, look, what are you doing in your lesson today? Yeah, and then did I know it's tongue in cheek, but did I not once say to you that, look, if you don't have a plan with what you want to do in your lesson, we'll sit outside for 2 hours?
Yeah.
Okay, that was me being very blunt and very honest, because if you don't have a plan, you're not going to get to the end. It's not going to work. So I think Patrick had a good plan. I think it was very concise, and I think together, I think we got there. I think we got there in the end. I think towards the end, especially with the test day looming, Patrick got a little bit apprehensive. But we've been there, done it. It's every other day we have somebody going for a driving test. So once you understand how a driving test works and what passes and what doesn't, it's important to delegate that to your pupils. Now, sometimes we disagree on very small points. The very small points would be a black and white for a driving examiner, but for us it's like, well, I'm getting too close to a car. But then it's your interpretation of the colour red, dark red, maroon, whatever, cherry red. For them it's black and white. Too close, not too close. Yeah. Too close, fail. Not too close, pass. So I think we had many disagreements on other drivers' sort of predictability as well. So in terms of how you'd predict another driver doing something. Now, I would, if I use the word clock, I'd clock it a lot earlier than Patrick would. But that's because I've been driving for 20 odd years now. So if I'm not going to clock it now, then I may as well hang up my boots now. The frustration came from there. So it's inexperience, not been on the road long enough, and plus I'm his main sort of, not just his teacher, I'm the only car that he's got experience in, so the only experience he's really got is with me. So because it's with me, unfortunately for Patrick, it's the time you've got is restricted by what I can give you and what's on the road. So public holiday, there's nothing there. Peak rush hour traffic, it's what's there. So then we have manual lessons which I've restricted because of my auto. So then you'd get the lessons I could give is working as well. So it's a case of you've got to fund your lessons, I've got to find time to give them lessons. So I think it worked. I think perhaps I could have done a little bit more in terms of arrange more lessons if I needed to. But then again, sometimes you have constraints. So I'd come out on a day off, or Patrick would come out on a day off, sort of thing. So I think it worked. Ultimately, the goal, the objective was to pass a driving test that he achieved with no problem whatsoever today. Quite proud of him actually. And we haven't told anyone yet, and I'm not gonna. That's his job, not mine. I just wanted my coffee, which I've got now. So until the next pass, which I'm hoping is next week. Okay, well, thank you guys. Thank you for watching. Any questions, leave a comment. Thank you.